Can you imagine dying, going to heaven, and returning with a direct warning from Jesus? Emiliano, a 15-year-old Mexican boy, experienced exactly that. What he saw up there could change your life forever. My name is Emiliano Jose Navarro Cortez, and I am 15 years old. I live in Querétaro with my mum, my dad, and my 2 younger sisters, Camila, 11, and Valeria, 8. We have always been a very close-knit, devoutly Catholic family. Since I was little, my grandmother took me to Mass every Sunday and taught me to pray to the Virgin of Guadalupe and to love Jesus deeply. I always believed in God and had faith, but I never imagined that one day I would come face to face with Jesus and that he would reveal such important things to me about what is to come. What I am about to share is real, it truly happened, and I need everyone to know because time is running out, and many people are unaware of it. It all began on a Friday afternoon as I was leaving school. It was a normal day, it was very hot, as it always is in Querétaro at this time of year, and I was walking toward the bus stop to head home. I had my headphones on, listening to music and thinking about the soccer match my friends and I were going to play on Saturday. I remember being in a good mood. I was even quietly singing along to a song I really liked. I reached the corner where I always cross the avenue to get to the bus stop and waited for the pedestrian signal to turn green. When the light changed, I started crossing the street along with other people who had been waiting. I don't know exactly what happened, but suddenly I heard the sound of hard braking, a horrible screech of tires against the pavement. I turned to my right and saw a huge SUV speeding straight toward me. The driver had run the red light and couldn't stop in time. I tried to run, but it was already too late. The pickup truck hit me with such force that my body was sent flying several meters through the air. I felt tremendous pain when I slammed onto the asphalt. I hit my head and back. My whole body felt broken. There was blood everywhere. People started screaming and running toward me. Someone was calling an ambulance, and I could hear voices saying, "Don't move, son, help is on the way, hang in there." I tried to breathe, but it was a struggle. It felt as if something heavy were pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe properly. I saw the blue sky above me, I saw the frightened faces of the people looking down at me, and then everything began to go dark. My eyes started to close, and I couldn't keep them open anymore. Suddenly, the pain vanished completely. It was very strange because, one moment, I felt as if my entire body was shattered and burning, and the next, I felt nothing, just a sense of lightness, as if a huge weight had been lifted off me. I opened my eyes and realized I was floating in the air, about 3 meters above my own body. It was the strangest sensation of my life, being up there, looking down and seeing my body lying in the street, covered in blood and surrounded by people. I saw the driver of the truck weeping, his hands on his head. I saw a woman kneeling beside me, trying to stem the flow of blood from my head with her sweater. I saw a man speaking nervously on the phone, giving directions to the paramedics. I tried to shout at them. I tried to tell them, "I'm up here, I'm okay," but no one could hear me. It was as if I were in a different dimension, and they could neither see nor hear me. I began to feel an incredible peace, a peace I had never experienced before in my life. I was no longer afraid, nothing hurt, and I no longer worried about what was happening down below. I felt only an immense tranquility and the sense that everything was going to be all right. Suddenly, I felt as though something were pulling me upward, an invisible yet very real force calling out to me. I looked up at the sky and saw a brilliant white light, but it wasn't an ordinary light like the sun, which hurts your eyes. It was a different kind of light, one that filled you with peace and love. It was as if the light itself were made of pure love. I began to rise toward that light, and the higher I went, the more peace, love, and happiness I felt. Then, I entered a tunnel. It wasn't a dark or gloomy tunnel, it was made entirely of light. The walls shimmered with colors I had never seen on Earth, colors I cannot even describe because they do not exist here. They were combinations of gold, silver, and violet, yet far more brilliant and beautiful. I was traveling through the tunnel at great speed, faster than a plane, faster than anything, yet I felt no fear at all. On the contrary, I felt excited and happy. I knew I was heading to a good place, As I traveled through the tunnel, I heard music, exquisite music unlike anything I had ever heard before. It sounded like thousands of voices singing in unison, angelic voices, I am certain, singing praises to God. The music was so beautiful it made me want to weep with joy. When I emerged from the tunnel, I arrived at the most beautiful place imaginable. It was heaven. True heaven. I knew it was heaven because nothing on earth could be so perfect, so pure, or so filled with light and love. There were green meadows that shimmered like emeralds, flowers of every imaginable color, and huge trees bearing fruit that looked delicious, and the sky wasn't blue like ours. Instead, it held a blend of colors, like a sunset, but magnified 1,000 times over. There were rivers of crystal clear water, so transparent you could see right to the bottom, sparkling as if filled with diamonds. In the distance, I saw snow-capped mountains that glowed with their own light. I saw beautiful animals, lions, tigers, deer, all walking together in peace, without attacking one another. I saw children playing, running, and laughing, all dressed in radiant white garments. I saw babies, too, so many tiny babies glowing with a special light, and I knew in my heart that these were the babies who had never been born on earth but were alive in heaven, waiting for their moment. Then, I heard a voice calling my name. It was a man's voice, yet unlike any ordinary voice. It was the most beautiful, powerful, and love-filled voice I had ever heard. The voice said, "Emiliano, Emiliano, come here, my son." I turned toward the sound and saw him. It was Jesus. I knew instantly it was him, without anyone having to tell me. I knew it deep within my heart. Jesus stood right there before me, more beautiful than any painting or image could ever portray. He wore a white robe that shone so brightly I could barely look directly at him, yet, his light didn't hurt my eyes. Instead, it filled me with peace. His hair was dark brown and long, reaching, los hombros, con ondas suaves, su barba en corta y biancuidada, pro lo que más me impactó fueron sus ojos. They were a color that does not exist on earth. They were like golden honey mixed with light, and when he looked at me, I felt that he could see inside me, that he knew everything about me. All my thoughts, all my secrets, everything good and bad I had ever done in my life. But instead of feeling judged or ashamed, I felt loved in a way I had never experienced before. Jesus wore a crown on his head, but it was not a crown of thorns like the one he wore when he was crucified. It was a king's crown made of pure gold that shone brilliantly. Beside him stood a giant white horse, the most beautiful horse I had ever seen, with intelligent, sparkling eyes. Its coat was so white and pure that it seemed to glow. Jesus smiled at me, and that smile felt like the sun rising within my heart. He beckoned me to come closer, and I walked toward him, even though my legs were trembling with emotion and awe. When I reached him, Jesus extended his hand and touched my face with great tenderness. His hands were strong yet gentle, and I could see the nail marks on his wrists, the scars from his crucifixion. Seeing those marks, I began to weep, for in that moment I understood all he had suffered for me, for all of us. Jesus said to me, "Do not cry, Emiliano. Do not be afraid, you are safe here with me. I have known you since before you were born. I formed you in your mother's womb. I have been with you every day of your life, even when you did not always see me. I have cared for you, protected you, and loved you with an everlasting love." Finally, I was able to speak, and I asked him tremulously, "Lord Jesus, is it really you? Am I dead? What happened to me?" He smiled again and said, "Yes, Emiliano, it is me. I am Jesus, your Savior, your Lord, your friend. Your body is resting now on earth. The doctors are working to revive you, but I brought you here because I have something very important to show you. You are going back to earth, my son. Your time is not up yet, but before you return, I need you to see a few things. I need you to understand what is to come, because when you go back, you will have a very important mission. You are going to be my messenger. You will speak to people about me and about my return." Jesus took my hand, and we began to walk together through heaven. As we walked, he showed me different places and explained things to me. He first took me to a place that looked like an immense library, but it wasn't an ordinary library, it was something celestial, something divine. The shelves stretched upward as far as the eye could see, perhaps into infinity, and there were millions upon millions of books. The books glowed with their own light, some were gold, others silver, and some featured colors I had never seen before. Jesus walked over to one of the shelves and pulled out a large, heavy book. When he opened it, I saw that it was the Bible, but it wasn't like the Bibles we have on earth. This Bible was alive, the letters moved and glowed, and when you looked at the words, it was as if they could speak directly to your heart. Jesus turned the pages until he reached a specific passage and said to me, "Read this, Emiliano, read it carefully." I looked at the pages and recognized that I was in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, where Jesus speaks about his second coming and the end times. I read the words stating that there would be signs in the sun, moon, and stars, that nations would be in distress, that there would be earthquakes in various places, and that nation would rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. I read about wars, rumors of wars, famines, and plagues. I read about the great tribulation that would come upon the earth, a tribulation unlike any other since the beginning of the world. Jesus closed the book and looked at me with a serious yet loving gaze. He said to me, "Emiliano, everything written here is going to happen very soon. It is not meant to frighten people, but to prepare them. I am going to return to earth to gather my people, my church, and all those who truly love me and have placed their faith in me. I will come in the clouds with great power and glory, and my angels will gather my elect from the four corners of the earth. It will happen in the blink of an eye, faster than you can blink. Those who have died in Christ will rise first, and then those of us who are alive will be caught up together with them to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will be with the Lord forever." Trembling, I asked, "But Lord, when will that happen? When will you return?" Jesus looked at me very seriously and said, "No one knows the day or the hour, not even the angels in heaven, only my Father knows. But I tell you this, Emiliano, it is very close, much closer than most people think. It could be today, tomorrow, next week, or next month, but it will be soon. The signs are everywhere, the world is preparing, even though many do not see it. Time is running out, and I need my people to be ready." Then Jesus took me to another place in heaven. It was like a huge hall with walls that shone like clear crystal. In the center of that hall stood a large table, and upon it lay 2 books. One of the books glowed with an intense golden light, so bright that it was difficult to look at directly. The other book was dark, heavy, and did not shine. Jesus approached the golden book first and opened it with great care. He said to me, "Emiliano, this is the book of life. Here are written the names of all the people who will enter heaven with me. Every time someone accepts Jesus as their Savior, every time someone truly repents of their sins and decides to follow me, I write their name in this book in golden letters that never fade." I stepped closer and could see the pages of the book. There were thousands upon thousands of names written in beautiful calligraphy, in glowing golden letters. I saw names in Spanish, English, Chinese, Arabic, in every language of the world. Jesus turned the pages slowly and said, "These are my children, these are the ones who love me, who seek me, who believe in me. When I return, all these names will be called out, they will all ascend to heaven with me. Not one will be left behind, not a single one. I know each one by name, I know their struggles, their pain, and their sacrifices, and I will reward them all." Then Jesus approached the dark book. When he touched it, his expression changed. He became very serious, almost sad. He opened the book, and I saw that its pages were also filled with names. However, these names were written in black ink, and the pages gave off an unpleasant odor. Jesus said in a sad voice, "This is the book where the sins of those who have not repented are recorded. Every lie, every theft, every act of violence, every hurtful word, every impure thought, every time someone rejects my love, it is all written here. People whose names appear only in this book, and not in the book of life, will not be able to enter heaven. When I return, they will remain on earth and have to face the great tribulation. I asked him, with tears in my eyes, "But, Lord, what will happen to those people? What is the great tribulation?" Jesus sighed deeply and closed the dark book. He took my hand and said, "Come, I will show you what is going to happen." Suddenly, the place where we were changed, and we began to see visions, like watching a movie, yet it was real. These were things that would truly come to pass. I saw the earth from above, as if I were in space looking down at the planet. I saw millions of people suddenly vanish in an instant. They simply disappeared, leaving their clothes behind. I saw planes falling from the sky because the pilots had vanished. I saw cars crashing on the highways because the drivers were gone. I saw hospitals in chaos because doctors and nurses had departed. I saw the panic, the confusion, and the terror of the people left behind. Jesus explained it to me as I watched these things. This is the rapture, the catching away of the church. When I return for my people, I will take everyone who belongs to me off the earth. Small children who are not yet of an age to decide will also be taken, because they are innocent, but all the others, all those who had the opportunity to accept me and did not, all those who heard my word and rejected it, all those who lived for themselves and not for me, they will be left behind. And when my church is taken from the earth, a time of tribulation unlike any other will begin. The visions continued, and what I saw was terrifying. I saw a man rising up in the world, a political leader who seemed good at first, speaking of peace and unity, but who was actually the lawless one. This man possessed incredible power. The whole world followed him. Everyone worshipped him as if he were a god. Jesus said to me, "This man will deceive many. He will perform false signs and wonders. He will promise peace but bring destruction. Tell people never, ever, ever to accept his seal, no matter how much they suffer, no matter if they cannot buy food, no matter if they are persecuted. It is better to die without the mark of Satan than to live with it, because those who receive it will never be able to enter heaven." I saw how that evil leader persecuted the Christians who had been left behind on earth, those who they had regretted it after the abduction. I saw many being martyred, beheaded for refusing to accept the mark of Satan and for refusing to worship the son of Satan. But Jesus told me, "Those who die for my name during the tribulation will rise again and be with me in heaven. They are martyrs, they are heroes of the faith and will receive a special reward. But I do not want anyone to have to go through that. That is why I am showing you all this now, so that when you return, you can tell people to prepare now, not to wait, not to let more time slip by. If anyone remains behind after the rapture, things will be far more difficult." The visions grew more intense and terrifying. I saw natural disasters across the globe. I saw massive earthquakes destroying entire cities in seconds. I saw volcanoes erupting simultaneously in different parts of the world, spewing ash and lava, darkening the sky. I saw gigantic tsunamis, waves over 100 meters high, sweeping over coastlines and surging kilometers inland, destroying everything in their path and dragging away houses, buildings, cars, and people. I saw Category 6 and 7 hurricanes, massive tornadoes, and thunderstorms with lightning falling like rain from the sky. I saw the climate go completely haywire, snowfall in places that had never seen snow, and extreme heat in places that had always been cold. I saw the polar ice caps melting at an incredible rate. I saw polar bears, seals, and penguins all dying as their habitats vanished. I saw their young crying out, searching for their mothers, dying of hunger and cold. I saw sea levels rising so high that entire cities were submerged. I saw Miami, New York, Tokyo, and London, all flooded, with only the tallest buildings protruding from the water. I saw millions of people trying to escape, but there was nowhere to go. I saw terrible famines. I saw farmlands dry and cracked, without producing anything. I saw livestock dead from the drought. I saw people fighting over a piece of bread, a bottle of water. I saw small children with bellies swollen from hunger, crying and holding out their little hands for food that wasn't there. I saw empty, looted supermarkets. I saw riots in the streets, people killing each other for resources. I saw governments collapsing, armies powerless to maintain order. I saw diseases and plagues appearing out of nowhere. I saw deadly viruses spreading across the globe, killing millions. I saw overwhelmed hospitals, lacking medicine and equipment, with doctors and nurses collapsing from exhaustion. I saw bodies piled up in the streets because there was no way to bury or cremate them all. I saw plagues of insects, giant locusts, devouring all the remaining vegetation. I saw the waters of rivers and seas turning to blood, with dead fish floating in a stench of unbearable rot. I saw the sky changing in a supernatural way. I saw the sun turn black like sackcloth, plunging the world into terrifying darkness. I saw the moon turn blood red. I saw stars falling from the sky, but they weren't ordinary stars. They were like giant fireballs, enormous meteorites, slamming into Earth with explosions that vaporized everything for miles around. Each impact created craters, massive ones, kicking up clouds of dust that further darkened the sky, causing secondary earthquakes and tsunamis. I saw one of these meteorites crash into the ocean. The explosion was so immense that it generated waves capable of crossing entire oceans. I saw terrible wars, World War III. I saw nations fighting nations, massive armies mobilizing. I saw nuclear weapons being launched. I saw atomic explosions with their mushroom clouds. I saw entire cities vaporized in an instant, reduced to ash. I saw radiation killing those who had survived the blasts, causing them to fall ill, lose their hair, vomit blood, and die a slow death. I saw China, Russia, the United States, and Europe, all at war. I saw the Middle East become the epicenter of the conflict, with the armies of the world converging on Israel. I saw demons, evil spirits, being unleashed upon the earth. They were hideous creatures, like giant locusts but with human faces, lion-like teeth, and scorpion-like tails. Jesus said to me, "These are the demons that have been locked in the abyss, but during the tribulation, they will be released to torment the people who bear the mark of the beast. They will sting people, and the pain will be so intense that they will want to die, yet death will flee from them. They will suffer for 5 months without being able to die." I saw people running, screaming, and trying to hide from these creatures, but there was no escape. I saw angels blowing trumpets in heaven, and with each trumpet, a new judgment fell upon the earth. I saw bowls of wrath being poured out. I saw Babylon, which Jesus explained to me represents the system of commerce and sin, being completely destroyed in a single hour. I saw the merchants of the world weeping because they could no longer sell their goods. I saw the smoke of that destruction rising to the heavens. Then I saw something that gave me hope amidst all that horror. I saw people during the tribulation who finally understood what had happened, realizing that Jesus was real and that they had been left behind. I saw many of them repenting, crying out to God, and accepting Jesus despite the danger. I saw some of them receiving smuggled Bibles and reading them in secret. I saw them forming underground churches in basements and tunnels. I saw them refusing to receive the mark of Satan, even if it meant being killed. And I saw that when they were martyred, when they were beheaded, their souls immediately ascended to heaven, where they were welcomed with joy. Jesus said to me, "These are the saints of the tribulation, those who washed their robes in my blood. They will have a special place in my kingdom." Finally, I saw the ultimate battle, Armageddon. I saw all the armies of the world gathered in a valley in Israel, millions upon millions of soldiers with all their weaponry. I saw the son of Satan and the false prophet leading them, preparing to fight against God himself. And then I saw heaven open. I saw Jesus riding his white horse, dressed in a robe soaked in blood, with a sword coming out of his mouth and a crown on his head. Behind him came the armies of heaven, also riding white horses and dressed in fine, clean, white linen. That heavenly army was us, those who had been raptured, returning with Christ. I saw that Jesus did not have to fight physically. He simply spoke, and his word instantly destroyed all the enemies. Armies fell dead upon merely hearing his voice. I saw an angel seize the Antichrist and the false prophet and cast them alive into the lake of fire burning with sulfur. I saw another angel capture Satan, bind him with chains, and throw him into the abyss for 1,000 years, and then, Christ's reign on earth began. The visions shifted, and now there was something beautiful. I saw Jesus restoring the earth, I saw all the destruction caused by the tribulation being miraculously repaired, buildings rebuilt themselves, trees grew back, water was purified, and the air was cleansed. I saw Jesus seated on a throne in Jerusalem, ruling over all nations with perfect justice. I saw peace finally come to the world. The lion lay down beside the lamb, children played safely with snakes, there were no more wars, no more crimes, no more diseases, people lived for hundreds of years, just as in ancient times. I saw humanity flourishing under Christ's perfect rule during those 1,000 years. Technology advanced, yet it was used for good. Nature was fully restored, deserts bloomed, oceans teemed with life once more, and everyone worshipped Jesus. Everyone acknowledged him as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. But then, at the end of the 1,000 years, I saw Satan released for a short time. Incredibly, I saw some people who had been born during the millennium allowing themselves to be deceived by him again and rebelling against Christ, yet this rebellion was swiftly cut short. I saw fire come down from heaven and consume the rebels. I saw Satan cast into the lake of fire forever, joining the Antichrist and the false prophet who were already there. And then, I saw the final judgment. I saw a great white throne and Jesus seated upon it. I saw all the dead from every age standing before the throne. I saw books being opened, including the book of life. I saw that each person was judged according to their deeds, according to what they had done in life. I saw that those whose names were not written in the book of life were cast into the lake of fire, and Jesus said to me, with sadness in his voice, "This is the second death, eternal separation from God. I do not want anyone to go there, Emiliano. That is why I died on the cross, so that everyone could be saved. But I respect free will. If someone rejects me during their lifetime, I must respect their decision, even though it breaks my heart." Finally, I saw the new heaven and the new earth. I saw the old earth and the old heaven pass away, and in their place appeared a completely new creation, more beautiful than anything I had ever seen before. I saw the new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven like a bride adorned for her husband. The city was immense, with walls of jasper, gates of giant pearls, and streets of gold as clear as crystal. In the center of the city stood the throne of God and of the Lamb, and from that throne flowed a river of the water of life, clear as crystal. On each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, one for each month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Jesus took me for a walk through the streets of that city. He showed me the mansions he was preparing for his children. Each mansion was unique, personalized to the tastes and personality of the person for whom it was built. He showed me one that was for me. It was exactly as I had dreamed, featuring everything I loved. He said to me, "This awaits you, Emiliano. This is your eternal home, but first, you have work to do on earth." He showed me that there was no temple in the New Jerusalem, for God himself was there. His presence filled everything. There was no sun or moon, because the glory of God illuminated the city. There was no night. The city gates never closed, for there was no danger. The nations walked in the light of the city. There was no longer any curse. There was no more death, nor mourning, nor crying, nor pain, for the former things had passed away. God dwelt with mankind, and they were his people, and I saw that we all lived in perfect communion with God, seeing him face to face, worshipping him, and serving him joyfully for all eternity. Jesus said to me, "All of this is real, Emiliano, as real as you and I are here right now. This has been God's plan from the beginning, to redeem humanity and restore all things, but each person must choose. I have already paid the price on the cross. I have already done the work. Now, each individual must decide whether to accept or reject me, and the time to decide is running out very quickly." Then Jesus took me back to the place where I had first seen him. He had me sit beside him and spoke to me with great seriousness. He said, "Emiliano, I am going to send you back to Earth now, but first, I need you to understand your mission. You are 15 years old, you are young, but I use young people powerfully. My word says that in the last days I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters will prophesy, your young people will see visions. You have just seen a very important vision, and now you must share it. When you return, you are going to tell everyone what you saw here. There will be people who do not believe you, who mock you, who say you were hallucinating or made it all up. Do not let that discourage you. Keep sharing the truth. You will see others who do believe, whose hearts will be open, and those people will accept me because of your testimony. You will be responsible for saving many souls, Emiliano, and that brings me great joy. Tell people this when you return. Tell them that I, Jesus, say my return is very near. Tell them to look for the signs written in my word. They are already seeing earthquakes increasing in frequency and intensity. They are already seeing wars and rumors of wars. They are already seeing pandemics. They are already seeing the love of many growing cold and wickedness increasing. They are already seeing my gospel being preached throughout the world. All these are signs that my coming draws near. Tell them to repent of their sins right now. Tell them not to wait another day. Tell them to confess with their mouths that Jesus is Lord and believe in their hearts that God raised him from the dead, and they will be saved. Tell them to be baptized, to read my word, to pray without ceasing, to gather with other believers, and to live in holiness. Tell them to turn away from sin, lies, hatred, sexual immorality, and idolatry. Tell them to forgive those who have offended them, to love even their enemies, and to be a light amidst the darkness. Tell them not to place their trust in the riches of this world, for all of that will pass away. Houses, cars, money, designer clothes, cell phones, everything will be left behind when I come. The only thing they will take with them is their soul. Ask them what good it is for a man to gain a whole world if he loses his soul. What will a man give in exchange for his soul? Tell them not to take the seal of the man of perdition when it appears. They may offer comfort, ease in buying and selling, and access to services, but it is a deadly trap. Whoever receives that mark will drink the wine of God's wrath. It is better to lose one's physical life than to lose one's eternal soul. Those who remain faithful to the end, they will be saved. Jesus laid his hands on my head and prayed for me. I felt an incredible power flowing through me. He said to me, I am giving you courage and strength to fulfill your mission. Do not be afraid of what people might say. I will always be with you. When you are persecuted for the sake of my name, rejoice, for great is your reward in heaven. When you are rejected, remember that I was rejected too. When you are criticized, remember that I was criticized too, but stand firm, because in the end, everything you have done for me will be rewarded. He also told me, guard your heart, Emiliano, remain pure, do not let yourself be defiled by sin. It will try to tempt you in many ways now that you know the truth. It will try to make you fall, to discredit you, to silence you. But resist it, and it will flee from you. Draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. Fill yourself with my Holy Spirit every day by praying, reading my word, and praising me. The more time you spend with me, the stronger you will be against the enemy's attacks. He showed me something else before sending me back. He showed me my future life. I saw myself becoming a young preacher speaking in churches, schools, and on the streets. I saw my testimony being recorded on video and shared online, reaching millions of people around the world. I saw many people weeping as they heard my story and surrendering their lives to Christ. I saw that some of the people who came to faith through my testimony were people who would have gone to hell had they not heard my message, but who were now saved and would one day be with me in heaven. Yet, this filled me with an incredible determination to fulfill my mission, no matter the cost. Jesus embraced me tightly and said, I love you, my son, I love you with an everlasting love. Never forget it. In the difficult days ahead, when you feel lonely, when you feel tired, when you feel you can go no further, remember this moment. Remember that I held you, that I was with you, that I chose you, and remember that soon, very soon, I will come for you, and you will be here with me forever. Suddenly, I felt myself being pulled downward with great force. I saw Jesus receding, saw heaven receding. I entered the tunnel of light again, but this time traveling in the opposite direction, back toward Earth. The return journey was much faster than the trip out. Within seconds, I was back in my body. The impact was tremendous. It felt as though I had been struck by a giant hammer. All the pain rushed back at once. My head was throbbing.